and welcome to episode 38 of The Adventures of Two Gray Mice. Today we're going to be talking about the 7 questions I always ask first when planning a Walt Disney World vacation. Here we go. Hi, and welcome to The Adventures of Two Gray Mice. I'm Meg.
And I'm Rob.
And we are Two Gray Mice. Hello, everyone. I thought today with the release of the 2027 Walt Disney World planning packages, I would just go through the 7 questions I always ask myself and my clients so that they end up with the vacation that they're looking for. This will help you DIY your own vacation, how you want to deal with it, where you want to go, and kind of helps you focus down quickly so that you're not lost in there's 36 hotels just on site and I don't know where I want to go and how to approach it. Hopefully it'll help you out. So the first question I ask is, when are you going? Now, of course, this completely totally depends upon your families, your parties, whoever you're going with schedule. If you have school-aged children that you don't want to pull out of school, that kind of limits you to Christmas break, spring break, and summer vacation. Some of the busiest times of the year, and also summer vacation, some of the slowest times of the year. If you're like me and you don't have kids, or kids are old enough that you don't mind pulling them out, or whatever the case may be, you can go anytime. So then you can go during the slower time periods. The slowest time periods are, of course, the worst weather periods. So that would be August, September. October, it starts to get busy, but more on the weekends because of Mickey's Not So Scary, especially around Halloween. Once November hits, early November is okay. Then it starts to get busy as the holiday parties come out and the holiday decorations go up. Thanksgiving week is crazy busy. If you really want to do the holidays, which I always recommend because they're fabulous. And this actually goes for either Disney or Universal. Actually, all these questions go for Disney or Universal. You want to go that first week of December after Thanksgiving. It's going to be your slowest time period if you can pull it off. Your busiest time period and your most expensive time period to go is between Christmas and New Year's. Both parks, Disney and Universal, have dynamic pricing, which means that they change the cost of their hotel and their tickets or their packages by how busy they think it's going to be. That's also how they release their discounts or their specials or whatever the case may be. So once you figure out when you want to go, you move on to the next question. So this coming year, I'm planning a vacation for Rob and I to go in November. I have a conference down there in mid-November, and then we're going to go down for several days afterwards. I'm actually not sure yet if we're going to do Universal or Disney or a combination thereof. But once we know when we want to go, and we've talked about all of our parties and everybody's all on board, we go to the question number 2 is, what kind of vacation are you looking for? What do I mean by kind of vacation? You want a theme park? Well, of course. But are you looking for a relaxed theme park vacation where you've got, 7 days actually in destination, but you're only going to do 4 park days? So you're going to spend a day at Disney Springs, or maybe you're going to do a day at Universal and days at Disney or a day at SeaWorld, or you're going to spend 2 days at poolside. What vibe, experience are you looking for? Are you a go, 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 go kind of person? Or are you more a relaxed, I'm going to wake up when we wake up, we're going to hit the parks when we hit the parks. So I have one client that goes down for 9 days and 9 park days. She's down there for like 11 days. She takes 2 day breaks. She's down there because she really only does half park days. She wants to be able to relax. She wants to be able to wake up when they wake up. She has a young daughter. It's just the 2 of them, so she's handling everything. So she wants to be able to go back in the afternoon for a nap and know that she has another day at each park to catch up with whatever she missed this time around. So that's kind of important to know because that can kind of lead into what resort you want to pick. What kind of vibe are you looking for and how go, go, go you want to be will play into where you want to stay, which of course invariably is Question three is actually, what's your budget? What is your budget for the vacation? Do you have $5,000 to spend? Do you have $15,000 to spend? This is for flights or driving down, however you're getting there, the hotel itself, food, tickets, since you're talking about theme parks, and then, a little fluff on the other end for souvenirs and oops, we didn't count on that. Are you going to rent a car? If you're staying on Disney site, I never rent a car, even when I know I'm going to spend 1 or 2 days at Universal. It's cheaper to Uber to Universal and back again than it is to rent a car for a week. So what is your budget? And you're going to probably come up with between X and Y. Remember, this is a vacation. You do not want to go into debt over it. You want to try to keep yourself in a reasonable chunk of money that you can afford. Know that Disney Disney requires a $200 deposit. Universal, I think, requires one night at the hotel. So that's all you're going to pay. The final amount is due 30 days before you arrive. So 2027 is already out through October. Rob and I will go more into that and those details on my next episode. But so you know that if I only have to put $200 down, and it's right now April 26th, and I'm going to go in April 27 or June 27 or August 27. I have until then to pay it off. So I can either, do one of the tricks where I'm having a certain amount taken out of my savings account, checking account, put into a savings account that's earmarked for it. I can have an auto pay of, $100, $200, whatever, that actually goes to Disney to pay off part of the vacation. I'm, getting an airline credit card that I'm going to use responsibly and pay off, that I'm using to pay for Disney so that way I get the points, and then I'm going to use it to then buy my airline tickets. Whatever the case may be, you want to look at your budget and know that, at least payment-wise, you have that flexibility, and you can cancel at 31 days before your resort stay. You can cancel and get whatever you've paid back. At 30 days, 29 days, you lose that $200. So it's kind of a no-risk vacation in that sense. Not completely. Nothing ever is no risk. And of course, they could change their refund policies anytime they wanted to. But as it stands right now, as we're chatting in April of 2026, $20 deposit, and it gives you a great deal of flexibility. They also let you, I've had clients where some things happen, but they still want to go down. So, but now they can't go down now. Little Johnny broke his foot or whatever. So they postpone it a month. Disney lets you, you may have to pay a little more, sometimes you pay less, whatever the case may be, but they allow you to shift to, which is really quite nice. So then question 4, becomes, where are we staying? So this is depending upon the answers to, of course, 1, when are you going? 2, what kind of vibe do I want? And 3, what's my budget? So Disney itself has 3 categories of resorts: value, moderate, deluxe. The deluxe also have the DVCs, which all have suites and things like that. So if you've got the $15,000 to $20,000 budget, you can go that end. If you've got the $5,000 budget, you're going to go the other end. If you've got the middle, you're going in the middle. Then, of course, there's also offsite. Offsite, depending on where you stay, can be just as expensive as the deluxe resort or cheaper than the value. Why is that? Because when you're staying off-site, depending how far off-site you are, you're going to lose some of the benefits of staying on-site. So staying off-site comes with expenses that you don't have when you're on-site. So how are you getting to the parks? Are you going to rent a car or are you going to be Ubering in every day? There are off-site hotels that are on-site, like the ones near Jesus Springs, the Four Seasons. I stayed in it once. Well, the Wyndham. It's literally almost across the street from the Epcot. Then you have the Swan and Dolphin, which are not Disney hotels, but come with the Disney benefits. So that's why I say look at your budget and the vibe you want. If you're looking for a pampered deluxe experience where you have, a concierge available to you or a place that's open 24 hours to get drinks and snacks and maybe a little breakfast or a little dinner that's part of your package, your hotel, then you're going to be staying in a deluxe or at the Four Seasons or something along those lines. If you don't have that, you don't have that kind of money, and that's not for you. You don't plan on spending any time at the resort. You are not a pool person. You're a go, go, go person. You're going to be going to the parks every single day, dusk to dawn. You're going to be hitting every ride. Then no matter what your budget is, you know, a moderate or a value may be better for you. The moderates always have, most of them besides French Quarter, have a sit-down restaurant as well as the quick service. The values only have quick service, though I've stayed in not Pop Century, in the All-Stars, and I got a very good dinner. I was actually quite impressed by the quick service salmon dinner I had. So, it's usually not a matter of quality when you go from one end to the other as what's available to you. So the pools aren't as there's no pool slides. There's not gonna be a sit down at a value, things like that. But at the other end of the spectrum, you are gonna have, pool slides, several restaurants, a concierge staterooms that come with a lounge and free alcohol and things like that. So you're gonna have those 2 different ends. You're gonna look at your budget, and you have to decide what is best for what you want. And once you figure that out, that's what the vibe is about. That's why you need to understand what the vibe is. It's easier to figure out what hotel you wanna stay in by the vibe and the budget. Also, if you're terrified of heights, don't stay at Art of Animation Pop Century or Caribbean Beach because they heavily rely on the Skyliner for transportation. So, and of course, also depending on what time of the year you're going and the budget you have, it's going to fluctuate with where you can afford. So in August, you may have a smaller budget, but you can afford a moderate. In December, you can't afford the moderate. And what I mean by that is, like I said, dynamic pricing. So I pulled just really quickly, just room only, um, prices for 2027 for non-discounted. So this is rack rate. What if you booked your vacation right now, you would be getting, knowing that if a discount comes out, you're staying Christmas, a discount's not coming out. Uh, like if you're staying in August, right now for 26, we have discounts. There are several discounts. If you haven't booked your summer vacations yet, do it now. There's several discounts. So you book your vacation now for 27. There are 0 discounts out for 27 already. One comes out for 25% off the room or the package or whatever the case they may do, free dining, whatever. You can adjust your vacation package after you've booked it to get the current deal and the better price. Always. Sometimes it's not a better price even when you think it is because they've raised their rates. They always raise their rates at some point. But just so you understand, so like right now, first week of June, which is a moderate time to go. Um, it's when this is like the average price in many ways. This is what you're going to pay in May, June, April, February, March. It's kind of like that more a little up and down, but more the average price for a room. So value, Pop Century, $246 a night. Coronado Springs, which I picked because it has a tower, it has the village, it has concierge. It's like this hybrid, really awesome. Actually, I love it. Moderate resort, $296 a night. The Contemporary, so the Magic Kingdom Circle on the monorail, $533 a night. Then you wanna go in August. It's hot, you're in hurricane season, it's like the surface of the sun, you're gonna be missing you're probably gonna leave the park every afternoon because it's too hot. Pop Century goes from 246 to 218. Coronado Springs goes from 296 to 306. Because it has more things you can do, it has more places to go and more advantages to hanging out at the resort, especially that resort. It's a little more expensive because it's August, so you can hang out there and buy their great pool and or whatever the case may be and enjoy yourself. And to give you an idea, they also have, like I said, concierge, so you get the free lounge and the food that goes there and the drinks and yada yada yada. That would be $688. So that kind of you're paying for it in the end. So it depends on. It's not worth it if you're not going to be there. If you're not going to have a couple of resort days, I would never do it. The contemporary goes up to 606, same thing. So you can kind of hang out there a little better. Spring break, one of the busiest times. Pop Century, 315. Coronado, 395. The contemporary goes up to 775. Then Christmas. I did picked the 26th of the 1st. So that actual week. Busiest time at Disney World, the most expensive time. Pop Century goes up to 359. Coronado Springs goes to 418, and the contemporary goes to $1,011 a night. So you can see why, when you're thinking of your budget, you also have to think about when you're going, and especially like in the spring, that spring break time, very often there's deals. But you can sometimes if you have flexibility in your dates, you can really kind of pick your resort once you figure it out and get a better deal. And sometimes also, if you don't go Saturday, Sunday to Sunday, you can get a better deal. So then once you have your resort, you're good, right? You figured out that you want to stay on property or off property. The off property ones are nice. You have Flamingo Crossing. You have ones over by Disney Springs. All the ones over by Disney Springs have free shuttles. A lot of them have free shuttles. All of them, well, most of them very often will drop you off no matter what park you're going to at the TCC, so that you then have to get another bus, a Disney bus to the park you want. You have to book that extra time into it, and they rarely, if ever, have a shuttle back after, like, fireworks or, Fantasmic or whatever the case may be. They're usually, like, the last shuttle is usually, like, at 7:00 at night. So it's not always the best, no matter if it is a free shuttle. Then and of course, you answer all these questions before you look at anything, so that you have a way of answering those questions. You've answered those questions, so you know what you're doing. How many park days do you want? Like I said earlier, I have that one client that wants like 9 park days, so she could do each park twice and take her time and really experience everything. Rob and I usually do 4, maybe 5 park days. We always do park hopper because we know what we're doing. We know what we want to hit. We are much more of a vibe, laid back. We have our rides we pick, but we also have experiences we want to do. So we kind of map those out. So how many park days do you want? I always recommend no more than 3 park days in a row. I try to do 2 and 2. Um, if I'm going to do 4 park days and like Mickey's Not So Scary or whatever, I very often have my day off the day after the party because you're up so late. It's an exhausting vacation no matter when you go, between the heat, the humidity, and how much activity you're doing and how much walking you're doing. Even Rob and I still do 20,000 steps a day, even when we're spending time relaxing and eating and enjoying. You're still walking and walking and walking. So always build in a rest day if you possibly can. When I have clients that go down and don't, and they shove it all in there, they're exhausted. Last year I sent down a family, and it was an extended family. So it's grandma and grandpa, and one son who's not married, the other son, his wife, and their, at that point, 3-year-old daughter. Not quite 3. That's why they were going when they were going, because she was not quite 3, so she was still free. And the family, the younger family, the granddaughter, have gone before, and they're park open and park closed people, and they go down for 3 to 4 days, and they just go pop, 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 and they no rest. And I'm like talking to the grandma who was paying for it, going, You can't do that. You're going to be exhausted." And then she's young, you know, she's my age, and she's, healthy and vibrant. So was her husband, but it's just still tiring, especially I know that they were going to be trying to keep up with the 2.5-year-old. So they built in a day off. And the other family was thankful because, of course, their child's growing and changing each time. So it's different. how you go down and how you experience it. So also check in with your party no matter how many times you've been down to Disney. Check in with your party because especially your littles are getting bigger. And what do they want to do? And their interests are going to change. And they may have been Hollywood Studios kids and now they're Epcot kids, or they were Magic Kingdom kids and now they're Hollywood Studio kids. So what do they want to do? What do they want to experience? And with the 4 of us, when the 4 of us go down, we used to talk about how many park days. Rob and I would talk about how many park days because what was in the budget. But then we would talk to the kids of like, do we need park hoppers? Are we only going to do a half day at Hollywood Studios because nobody wants to do anything besides Rise of the Resistance and Slinky Dog Dash? Or are we going to spend the entire day there? So what does each person want? Kind of really talk about it so you can get what everybody wants. In the end, though, everybody gets to pick one thing that's on their must-do list. One, depending on how many people are going, because you can't do everything. You try to do everything. And then when you do more than one, it's a great day. So I now know how much I have to spend. I have my resort. I know what kind of vibe I want. I know how many park days I'm going to be doing. The other question, which I'm going to talk more about, sorry, in my next podcast, is the dining plan. They're changing it for 2027. They're adding a dining plan, so it's a little more like the pre-COVID dining plan. To dining plan or not to dining plan. Totally depends on how you eat, how comfortable you are paying for your dining up front. Does that make you feel better knowing that when you show up, there's not going to be another bill waiting for you when you get home? Or are you the kind of person who would look at every meal and go, am I getting money? Am I getting my money's worth? Am I getting, no, you have to order the steak because I want to get my money's worth. So that kind of, how you eat and how you approach it will depend on how you deal with the dining plan. The last question, there's 7 questions. Why are we going? Are there any experiences we want to do? And what I mean by that is, are you celebrating anything? Or is this just summer vacation? Is this the kids' first trip down to Disney World or their 10th? I've got family going in September, August through September, actually. And they're celebrating their daughter's college graduation. So that's why they're going down. So are we going to do something on top of going to Disney World to celebrate that? Now they're doing a land and sea. So they're going to be spending several days at Disney World and then they're taking a cruise and they've booked a spa appointment for the girls on the cruise or that additional celebration beyond getting a button that says my first or my birthday or whatever the case may be. You also have experiences that are extra money at Disney World that are fabulous. One of the ones we talked about it, the safari behind the scenes, Beyond the Seeds tour, when you tour backstage at Living with the Land, Keys to the Kingdom, where you tour backstage at Magic Kingdom. They have some wonderful tours that are above and beyond, and not some are like $30 and some are $200 a person. Is that something that you're interested in and want to add on to it? Bippity boppity boutique. Do you have a young man or woman who wants to be all dolled up as a prince, princess, pirate, whatever the case may be, to have that day? Do you want to go to Harmony Barbershop because you have a 18-month-old? It's going to be their first haircut. So that's important to know because then that's going to be that day's, whatever day that is, that's the one goal for that day. And you have to then know, if Harmony Barbershop is going to take away 2 hours of our day, or Keys to Kingdom is going to take 4 hours out of us experiencing the park itself, do we want to add another park day? Do we need to save a little extra money? Do we need to stay at Pop Century because we really want to do Bippity and that's $200, so that's going to put us in the wrong budget. So once you have these 7 questions answered, once you know when you're going, what kind of vibe you're looking for, what kind of vacation are you looking for? Jam-packed, park, 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 ride, 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 or park, pool, good food, park, pool, good food, that kind of thing. What is your budget? All of it. Flights, hotel, renting a car, a rough food budget, which of course you can budget if you get the dining plan even easier. Tickets, everything. This is, of course, for Disney and Universal. If I have focused a little more on Disney, where do you want to stay? So do you want to stay at a value because you're going to be rope dropping each day and you want to be able to use the Disney transportation and you're staying until after the fireworks every night? Or do you want to stay at the Four Seasons because you want the spa and you want the golf course and you want this or you want that? Because there's so much to do there besides the parks. I mean, you can get a fishing tour and go fishing. You can fish on your day off at Port Orleans. So there's opportunities to do things that are not park related. So that also can also lend into what you want to do and where you want to stay. How many park days you want? Do you want you're only going to be there 6 days in and out, 4 days in the park, done? No rest days? Or, 4 park days and a rest day? Uh, so you can go fishing or you can play golf because Disney has also its own golf courses. They also have miniature golf, which when you book a package, it comes with a round of miniature golf. Most people don't even realize that. Next summer, once again, they're going with the packages. They will also have on your check-in day, you can go to the water park in the summertime. Next question is, do dining plan or not do dining plan? And the last question is experiences. Do you want to add an experience? Fishing, golfing, bippity boppity boutique, a tour, a VIP tour, which you can now book with your vacation. Well, 60 days before your vacation, with your travel agent, which before you couldn't do. They've made it much easier to book them. It used to be kind of like Hunger Games to get a VIP tour. Um, it should be in some ways. I mean, I don't know why it is because they're like really expensive. The cheapest I think is like $400 an hour for 7 hours. It's crazy. So once you answer these questions, you'll be able to much easier just then go online or talk to your travel agent, which of course I am one, um, and plan your vacation much easier and know what you want to do and know where you want to go and just be able to smoothly just be done. It's the easiest way of doing it. This is at least what I have found. So that's what I have for you guys today. Like I said, and I've said before, and Robert has said it, I am a travel advisor. You can find me at graymicetravel.com. Please follow us and the podcast at the number 2, Gray Mice, a podcast on Instagram. On TikTok, it's actually just me. It's Meg Flooded on TikTok. You can send us any questions about your travel, questions about your Disney trip coming up that you want answered, that I'm not your travel advisor. You're already booked, you're ready to go, but you're trying to figure out something and you have some strange question you want to ask, please send us an email. Love to answer it. Love to answer any of your vacation questions. What's the best all inclusive or whatever you've got. And one day we'll probably have a episode that's all questions, but for now, we just get back to you. But you can email us at the number 2, graymice@gmail.com. Please like and review wherever you are seeing this or listening to this. Please give us a 5-star if possible. You can only really review on Apple, though I think, you can only review on Apple. But it's the only way we hit the algorithm is that people actually give us a 5-star and let people know we're out there. Tell your friend, share the episode. That's about it. My name is Meg. My husband is Rob. We are together, 2 gray mice. Thank you very much for listening. Have a great week.
Bye-bye.